Welcome to the West Wing Week, your guide to everything that's happening at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue and beyond. This week, the president urged action on long-term unemployment, hung out on Google for his first virtual road trip, announced major private sector commitments to expand broadband internet for students, spoke with both House and Senate Democrats, and joined the First Lady for the National Prayer Breakfast, while she helped students get a leg up with filing for financial aid, and the Vice President traveled to Amtrak's new Cities Sprinter electric locomotive. That's January 31st to February 6th, or POTUS Can.
This is Kevin. Oh, I haven't been recording this all time?
On Friday morning, the President and Vice President highlighted the success story of Eric Varela, who leveraged job training programs to move out of unemployment and spoke on the challenges faced by the long-term unemployed. The event was organized by the White House, where more than 100 companies committed to reforming their human resources policies to address the challenges faced by the long-term unemployed.
We're going to keep on knocking down barriers to reemployment so more of the nearly 4 million long-term unemployed Americans can regain the stability and security that a good job brings their families. And by the way, so that they have more money to spend on local businesses, which will lift the entire economy up and create a virtuous cycle instead of a negative one. Can you see me yet?
Later, the president participated in a series of Google Plus Hangouts as a part of his very first virtual road trip. He video chatted with participants from around the country, answering their questions on topics ranging from immigration to minimum wage, and at the end, he took a surprising question.
Out of a million that I'd love to ask you over a beer, are you happy? And,
That's a great question, Rob.
Is everything good with you? Is everything good with you, man?
You know, we should have that beer, because I think this might take a longer answer, but I am pretty happy, I got to tell you.
On Tuesday, the president traveled to Adelphi, Maryland to tour Buck Lodge Middle School and highlight the school's use of technology in the classroom.
Do you do everything on your iPad at this point? Most of your reading as well? Okay. You guys feeling kind of shy? Because all these cameras?
And I'm going to show you some of my work.
Yeah. Show me the journey of the red planet. How long is it? Where do you get the sound effects from?
The president just met with a classroom of students who showed him how they use technology in their learning. He's about to announce some major commitments by the FCC and some of our biggest companies in America to get wireless and broadband into every classroom.
See, once your name is sealed, then you never smile. It's tough. But right now, you can smile. So the country invested in me. My parents invested in me, my grandparents invested in me, but my country invested in me. And I want America to now invest in you. In a country where we expect free Wi-Fi with our coffee, we should definitely demand it in our schools.
Then, back at the White House, the president and vice president met with the House Democratic caucus in the East Room. Afterwards, the president made a congratulatory call to head coach Pete Carroll of the Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks.
The way everybody works together, that defense, it's unbelievable.
Wednesday morning was all about education, as the First Lady and Secretary of Education Arne Duncan attended a financial aid workshop at T.C. Williams High School in Alexandria, Virginia. They worked with parents, students, and school counselors to fill out the FAFSA forms, which unlock federal financial aid and open the door to a college education for middle-class students and those looking to get into the middle class.
It has been a real delight for me and an inspiration to meet you guys. The best investment that we can make is investing in you all.
Later that day, the president traveled to Nationals Park. No, not for batting practice, but to meet with Democratic senators at the Senate Democratic Issues Conference. On Thursday, the president, the vice president, and the first lady started early, attending the 62nd annual National Prayer Breakfast at the Washington Hilton.
So history shows that nations that uphold the rights of their people, including the freedom of religion, are ultimately more just and more peaceful and more successful. Nations that do not uphold these rights sow the bitter seeds of instability and violence and extremism. So freedom of religion matters to our national security. It is not always comfortable to do, but it is right.
Then, Vice President Biden and Secretary of Transportation Fox traveled to the 30th Street Station in Philadelphia to unveil Amtrak's new Cities Sprinter electric locomotive that will power the Northeast Corridor and highlight the need for infrastructure investments like these nationwide. The new locomotives were built in the U.S. by Siemens and include parts from nearly 70 different suppliers, representing more than 60 cities and 23 states.
Critical part of moving is the infrastructure, and a critical part of the transportation infrastructure is rail.
Meanwhile, back at the oh-so-stationary White House, the president hosted a bilateral meeting with President Martelli of Haiti. Well, you've gone and done it. You spent a perfectly good 5 minutes watching the West Wing Week, so keep at it. Stay engaged with us online.
Oh, I haven't been recording this whole time?
And remember, you can find out more information about any of these topics or to see complete videos of these events at whitehouse.gov. And thanks again for checking out your West Wing Week.
Valerie is doing outstanding calculations here, describing right angles, and that's Mike, my Secret Service agent. He never smiles. I just started smiling today. That's not bad. And this is our press. This is our press. All right, fantastic, Kevin.
All right, thanks, guys.
I hope I did as good of a job as you did. All right, hey.